In May there are a lot of upcoming indie games, that's why we had to divide the videos up a little bit. So here are the indie games in the second half of May. We have this game like Vampire Survivors, where you go through a huge horde of enemies. This horde crushing action roguelike is called Swarm Grinder. In this game you battle against mass spreading and evolving cells. At the start of every run the map is covered with the swarm. Once you trigger this, the enemy starts to attack you. It sounds pretty hard to survive, but with every action roguelike you have some equipment and skills that will help you. I just love these kind of games, so I think it's pretty good to check out. Then we have what looks like a phone game called Poosh Xl, but this looks like a really fun phone game. In Poosh Xl you tap one button to make the ball jump higher. There's not really much to it, but I like the neon concept of this game and it looks really addicting. The next game I talked about a few videos ago, but it seems to have been delayed. We have the game called Panorama. In this peaceful tile placing game you create your world by using different types of tiles. If you need even more tiles you can create your own combinations by combining these tiles. It looks like a very soothing game, so I think this will be nice if you want to relax. Next up we have a game that is probably very short, at least if we trust the title. Sheepy, a short adventure, is a short handcrafted pixel art platformer that follows the character Sheepy. And this guy is so cute, you guys. I love plushies and this guy is one. In this 2D platformer you get brought to life by some sort of light. And when you're alive you make squeaky sounds. There isn't really much info right now, but I'm sure it will be good. Then we are looking at a game that looks awesome to me, because I love a good dungeon crawler like Moonlighter or Enter the Dungeon. So when I saw Castle of Alchemists it was love at first sight. In this strategic dungeon crawler action roguelike you defend your castle by gunning and slashing enormous waves of enemies. Set traps, build towers, craft powerful weapons and defend your home. The fate of the castle lies in your hands. Looks like it will be a very fun title. I love the fact that you can defend your own castle. Then we have an awesome space indie game called Drift. A co-op survival adventure taking place in space. In this game you try to recover the technology you have lost when you crash your research center in a huge asteroid field. Like with most survival games you are supposed to gather many resources. This game looks great and it gives me some Astroneer vibes. The next game looked very interesting to me because I have played a very minimalistic puzzle platformer called Scala that does a lot by scaling. This puzzle platformer called Lotte looks a lot like it. In Lotte you solve puzzles by dying and turn yourself into a fly. It's described as a 5-minute during puzzle game, so I want to see how fast you guys can beat it. The next game just looks good. There isn't really much to it, but it simply looks good. The game is called Aerial Platforms. A fast-paced parkour game where you simply just parkour around on platforms. You're supposed to reach the finish line before the timer runs out, whilst you can't touch the floor. As simple as that, but this game just looked interesting. Then we have a very famous indie title, but I had actually no clue what this game was. But we have Warhammer 40k Boltgun coming out. A game a bit like Doom, but I never played Doom. To put it simply, this FPS shooter is chaos. You run and shoot enemies, that's basically it. Then we have a game that also has quite a bit of attention, not as much as Warhammer 40k Boltgun, but a bit of attention. We have Blooming Business Casino. In this tycoon sim you manage a casino in Las Vegas. So basically you can create your own unique casino. That's it, but it looked really fun. Next up we have a game called Puzzle Compound. In this online puzzle co-op game you're stuck with 3 others inside a room. In here you solve puzzles to escape the room. Yes, this is an escape room, so that's a really interesting concept. Then we have something that looks like it will be an amazing indie, but it will also be very stressful. We have Hot Heat Reset. This is a fast-paced maze action game where you play as an unknown speedster hiding behind a skull. This guy is trying to recover his stolen lance. No clue how you're supposed to do that by running, but just use your imagination. The one thing that is made very clear is that there are a lot of explosions. Then the next game is very purple, but it looked interesting, so we had to give it a chance. Dreamlined is a physics-based automation destruction game. No clue what that is, but in this purple game you do a lot with balls. To close the video off, we have another action roguelike that looks a lot like Vampire Survivors. We have the game called Zombie Exterminator, a top-down shooter roguelite. In this game you mow down a lot of zombies as a soldier that has 4 weapons equipped. These weapons consist of 3 stock parts and a core. You fight against zombies and other creatures. Don't worry about getting too weak, because like your average action roguelite you can choose different upgrades, weapons, parts and relics, also that you can get stronger. If you like getting to know all these indie games, consider subscribing, and if you want to know more about indie games coming out, then click here.